Good morning, Patriots. It is March 17th, 2016, and you are listening to the Fred Brauer Report. Our motto is facts versus fiction, logic versus chaos, and critical thinking versus emotional, useless propaganda, which we have, as you know, more than enough of, a plethora of in mainstream media. I'd like to start the show today with an article, and this is in the Annapolis Capital, Annapolis, Maryland. But this article caught my attention. It's so colorful and well written, and such a wonderful statement as to the piece of dung that Hillary Clinton is. It's written by a man by the name of Paul Leatherman. Paul Leatherman in Annapolis. So, Paul, if you're listening, this is for you. Well-written article. Thank you. Hillary Clinton. I'll come straight to the point, and I won't use any $20 words. I can't imagine anyone voting for Hillary Clinton. If they do, they should have a checkup with a very good therapist. She and her husband, Bill Clinton, disgraced the White House with his womanizing, shameful shenanigans. That's putting it mildly. She, in return, supported him in his antics by just turning her back on the whole matter. That, in and of itself, tells me what kind of woman she really is. Any decent lady would not go along with that kind of character. This is the people of America's White House. And these two inhabitants demonstrated no respect at all for this distinguished landmark. They could not care less, and to vote these two corrupt people back into the White House, well, need I say more? She is a deceitful, lying individual who would stoop to any length to get what she wants, and that has been proven to no end. She is the type of person who will fall back on her husband when things get tough or out of control. The writing is on the wall. Each time I hear her speak, what a put-on, and certainly bad acting. She'll never get an Academy Award. These kind of women want to be equal with a man until it comes to a tough physical showdown, when they fall back on their femininity and weakness as a woman for support from a man to uphold their stature. Well, Hillary has got a husband, Bill Clinton, who was in the process of being impeached. And don't forget it. Period. Vote wisely. And may you have many happy returns. Once again, that was written by Paul Leatherman here in Annapolis, Maryland. Which is very refreshing, because if you don't know it, Maryland has become almost the socialist state of Maryland. It is run and ruled by a decades-old Democrat legislature. I feel bad for Governor Hogan. He's the only Republican in the state. Luckily, he's the governor. But fighting this legislature in Maryland must be like banging your head against the biggest oak tree in Annapolis. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention today that is local. This takes place in Anne Arundel County. It took place last week. And mind you, this is something that conservative Americans, all of us, patriots, registered Republicans, this is the kind of thing we need to keep an eye out for nationwide. Whatever school district, last week, the NAACP, bright and early one morning, set up at Fort Meade High School in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. Now, you may think, well, what's the big deal of that? Well, I will tell you what the big deal is. The big deal is they were setting up to enroll 17-year-olds or will be 18-year-olds to vote in the April 26th Maryland primary for the presidential nominee. Now, the significance of this is, and if you live in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, this is common knowledge, Fort Meade High School has the highest black student population of the 11 high schools in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. 70% of the student body at Fort Meade High School in Anne Arundel County, Maryland is African American. Most of the other schools in Anne Arundel County are less than 15 or 10. One of the high schools in Anne Arundel County is only 5% African American. So it is no accident that the NAACP, who has endorsed Hillary, by the way, the Congressional Black Caucus has endorsed Hillary, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus has endorsed Hillary. So this is no mistake at all. This is pure racial targeting, and it's taking place in a public high school in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. You notice the NAACP didn't set up at one of the schools that's only 5% African American. No, they chose the one school in Anne Arundel County that is 70% African American students. That, my friends, I don't know about you, you tell me, is that not racial profiling by the NAACP, the left, Democrat Party supporters, or is it not? I would like to know. And please feel free to email me comments and questions and responses to this at fredforwethepeople@gmail.com. fredforwethepeople@gmail.com. You tell me what you think would happen if the Tea Party or the Heritage Foundation or the RNC, what have you, you can pick any conservative group you like. But what would happen if one of those conservative groups set up shop to register kids to vote in any high school that was 95% white, and they ignored the school that was 75% black? What do you think would happen? I tell you what would happen in this state. It would be all over Baltimore's local news a matter of hours later. Racial profiling by the Tea Party, racial profiling by the RNC, what have you. But this didn't even make the 20th page on a newspaper. It's not news anywhere. It's not news anywhere because no one says anything about it. If you know me, you have seen my show before, you know. The Fred Brauer Report wants to be the eyes and ears and mouthpiece for conservative Americans across this country, for Constitution-loving Americans, because the mainstream media is not getting our voice out there. The mainstream media only projects the portions that they handpick. But what we need to concentrate on as patriots is Main Street. What's happening in our town? What's happening in our city? What's happening in our neighborhood? And find somebody that will shout the truth. So that's what I'm doing with this story here. And like I said, what's going on in your town? You see impropriety like this, you see racial profiling like this, you see racial voter manipulation of this sort happening in your town, email it to fredforwethepeople@gmail.com. Now, a few days ago, Bernie Sanders said that white people don't know what poverty is. Let me repeat that. White people don't know what poverty is. Quote, unquote. That is out of the mouth of Bernie Sanders. Well, let me challenge that one for you, Bernie. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, it's a well-respected organization in this country, in 2014, which is the most recent data that I could find, probably sometime during the year, data will be released on 2015. Out of the 47 million Americans living in poverty, 47 million Americans living in poverty, 19,800,000 of them are white. 19,800,000. That is 42% of the Americans living in poverty. 42% of Americans living in poverty are white. Bernie. Go check your facts again, pal. See, this is what Bernie and Hillary do. This is what the left will do. This is what the left has always done. They change the facts, spew the lies, and unless someone challenges it, a week later, there's a meme on Facebook about it that is touting it like it's fact. Facts versus fiction. Logic versus chaos. And critical thinking versus propaganda. This is why that's my motto. We are inundated on a daily basis. The American people are inundated on a daily basis with lies, chaos, and propaganda. And the mainstream media does a god-awful job of ever challenging it. One American News does a good job with it. Fox occasionally. And conservative radio. It's a serious problem, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what we need to challenge on a daily basis. Publish the facts. Publish the truth. Discredit the propaganda. But it's a daily job. It's a daily job. I understand a lot of people don't have time to do it, and that's, it just so happens I do. I have the time. This is what I do. This is why the Fred Brauer Report is here. One thing I did want to mention about the last debate, and mind you, before I get into this, I want to make something very clear to the whole country. This is a point that's got to be driven home into the American psyche, excuse me, every day. This is the most important election this country will ever see. Bar none. There is only one goal, in my opinion. There is only one goal for conservative America right now, and that is to keep Hillary Clinton out of the White House. That's the only goal. Because make no mistake about it, a President Hillary Clinton is a death sentence for the United States of America. Only 4 years of it is a death sentence. 8 years is USA, coffin in the ground. Done. We're done. We are done. Believe that. All you've got to do, and the truth is a keyboard away. The information is out there. It's like the X-Files used to say. The truth is out there. It's a mouse click away. You research Hillary Clinton for one day. You spend 4 or 5 hours on the internet researching Hillary Clinton, her ties to Saul Alinsky. Let me tell you something. Saul Alinsky is alive and well. And he's wearing horrible pantsuits, and his name is Hillary now. But Hillary Clinton is the body, mind, and soul of Saul Alinsky. All you got to do is read Saul Alinsky's 12 Rules for Radicals, and you are reading the whole platform of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Hillary was a conservative until she hit college. And then she went so far left, radical liberal, it's scary. Dinesh D'Souza has pointed this out in great detail many times. If you've not seen Dinesh D'Souza's two films, please do. The one thing that concerned me in the last debate that took place on Fox was Trump seems kind of weak on foreign policy. Now, as it stands right now, I mean, it looks like Trump is a lock. But like I was just saying, whether you like him or not, there's one decision that we as conservative Americans, registered Republicans, even independents that are slightly on the fence, anyone that does not want Hillary in the White House, because whoever does is just an insane liberal, let's face it. The rest of us that are not psychotic liberals that will support Hillary, the rest of us, when the nomination is in, I don't care if it's Trump or Cruz, I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse, I don't care if it's the poodle next door, whoever the Republican nominee is, we got to get behind that nominee 5,000%. But every day on the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, I'm seeing Cruz supporters and Rubio supporters and Kasich supporters and never Trump, never Trump, never Trump. Listen, folks, there's only two choices come November. Possibly save our nation, or allow Hillary to win and witness the rapid destruction of the United States of America. There's no in between. There isn't. I'm not saying Donald Trump is the best choice for president. Certainly Kasich is not, and Rubio's out now. Cruz is a brilliant man, and I think he'd be a fabulous president, but he's not winning. So unless Cruz does something miraculous in the next couple months, we're probably looking at a Donald Trump Republican nominee. And the worst, absolute worst thing that any even slightly patriotic American can do is not vote because your guy didn't get the nomination. Rush wrote a song once, and one of the lines in it was, if you choose not to decide, you have still made a choice. And if you choose not to vote in November because Cruz isn't on the ticket, or because Trump isn't on it, because your guy is not on the ticket, you choose to stay home from the poll, you voted for Hillary. Plain and simple. It is just that simple. A no vote is a vote for Hillary, baby. Believe it. So I can't stress it any more than that. You know, we've got to get the Republican nominee into the White House and then get to work then, you know, and support them and put Congress's feet to the fire. Hopefully the GOP is going to show a little courage right now with this Supreme Court nominee. That's my next topic of discussion here. It took me about 20 minutes online to figure out that this Garland Merrick is a heck no. No, 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 no. At first, the media was touting him as he's a moderate, he's just right of center. No, listen. There's two key points that basically tell me all I need to know about this Supreme Court nominee. He is not anti-abortion. Scalia was. Scalia was quoted many, many, many times, 8 times as a matter of fact, I think, that Judge Scalia said there is no provision in the Constitution that allows a woman to make a choice about her fetus. It's not a choice. This is something I will never waver on. It's murder. It is murder. Now, the solution, that is a complex topic. But the basic hideous concept of abortion, it's murder, plain and simple. It is a little being. It is a little human. I don't care if it's this big. It's alive. It's alive. And if you choose to flush it, that's death. That's killing. So, this Supreme Court nominee, Garland Merrick, or Merrick Garland, Garland Merrick. Garland is his first name. Garland Merrick. He is not a clear, vocal, anti-abortion judge. He is also not a clear, vocal, unwavering Second Amendment supporter. According to my research, my preliminary research this morning, he has in fact voted with, ruled on a lot of pro-gun, pro-regulation, gun control issues. He votes for gun control. And he has a very wimpy stance on abortion. Now, according to Breitbart, Garland Merrick has remained kind of under the radar on gun control, on abortion. He has tried to remain under the radar. But in my opinion, any politician or judge, political figure, any kind of leader in this country, if you are anti-abortion and you are pro-Second Amendment, there's no question about it. We all know. We know. We know who is anti-abortion, and we know who is pro-Second Amendment. We know who is pro-Constitution. So the fact that Garland Merrick is murky on these issues, that rules him out for me right there. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. These topics are not ambiguous. They're not difficult. Now, I know politicians in D.C. and mainstream media, they love to confuse the issue. There's exceptions for this and exceptions. No, there's no exception. The Second Amendment is very clear. Shall not be infringed. That's all I need to know. I don't care if it's 1776 or it's 2016. It still says, shall not be infringed. And that's the kind of thing we have to hold on to. We have to hold on to it, lock, stock, and barrel. And repeat that over and over and over again. You put it in their face. Shall not be infringed. It's not debatable. It's not a big complex thing. But the propaganda and the chaos make it a complicated thing. And it just isn't. Over the years, I've talked to you about many veterans organizations that I feel are wonderful causes. I tend to try to promote the ones that need more help. There's many that are doing very, very well, and they're very successful, and they have large, promotional apparatuses that are doing a very good job for them, and they're doing well, and they're helping a lot of veterans. There's two in particular that are very near and dear to me that are still trying to get off the ground and be as effective as some of the more successful ones. One of them, of course, you already know probably from seeing my Facebook page over the years and hearing me talk about it here on the Fred Brauer Report, is Liberty Farms. And that's go to www.libertyfarmco, farmco.com, and that'll do it right there. Look at the website. It is a fabulous, really, really fabulous program that teaches veterans how to set up a greenhouse farming facility, hydroponic farming on their own, on a small bit of land in a greenhouse or not, and it can give them up to $30,000, $40,000 a year of their own income farming. The veterans, the candidates that qualify, they will go out to Spiro, Oklahoma, for many weeks of training. They will learn the business from beginning to end and everything that they need to know. And once again, it's called Liberty Farms. That's www.libertyfarmco.com. And they need your help and they need your support, and it's a wonderful program. The other veteran program that is also very near and dear to my heart is Freedom Home for the Forgotten. And if you don't know this story, this is run, it is a shelter in Sierra Blanca, Texas. Is run by John and Vanita Pate. It's a wonderful couple, and they've dedicated their lives really to service in our country, and they sold their home some years ago in Florida, and they took the profit from the sale of their home in Florida, and they bought a nice big piece of property in Sierra Blanca, Texas, and they have begun constructing a homeless shelter for homeless veterans that also qualify. There's a qualification process, and they've got their tax exempt status, they've got all of their financials in order, and they need our help. They need our help a lot. And there's already several veterans, homeless veterans that they've taken homeless veterans off the street. They're already staying at Freedom Home for the Forgotten, but there's a lot of construction to be done. They need a lot of funding and they need a lot of help. And you can visit their Facebook page, which will give you all of the information you need. Their GoFundMe account, their PayPal account, Facebook.com/Freedom Home for the Forgotten. Now they've been around for a while, so you can simply Google Freedom Home for the Forgotten. It'll pop up. You'll see it on Facebook. There's a GoFundMe account. I got a message from John Pate. April 18th to the 23rd, there is a voluntary group of professional builders. This group every year picks a cause to donate their skills to. They went to, this group of builders went down to Louisiana after Katrina and built a number of shelters. They've traveled to the Midwest after tornadoes to help people rebuild their homes and rebuild shelters and things like that. So this year, this group of professional builders, and I believe they're out of Pennsylvania. You can contact John about that on his Facebook page. John would be more than happy to give you the details of that. This year they have picked Freedom Home for the Forgotten. So this is the real deal, folks. This is the real deal. I would not steer you wrong ever. The fact that Freedom Home for the Forgotten has attracted the attention of this group of volunteer professional builders is a testament to the validity and the honor behind Freedom Home for the Forgotten and John and Vanita Pate. They're wonderful Americans. This is a wonderful cause. And listen, there are thousands of veterans in this country that are on the street. They're on the street, living in the filth, and regardless of what happened after they left the service, they were in the service. They defended our nation. They wrote a blank check up to and payable with their lives to defend us and this nation. So I don't see any excuse at all for, in this country, the United States of America, for a military veteran to be homeless on the street, whether they be mentally ill or suffering from some addiction, PTSD. Doesn't matter to me why. It doesn't matter to me why they're there. They should not be on the street. And we need to do everything we can as patriots to get them off the street, get them into a shelter, get them the treatment that they deserve, because This is common knowledge, folks. The VA is not doing its job properly because it's managed by the federal government. I can't think of anything the federal government does well right now besides hand out welfare. They do that really well. So once again, that's Freedom Home for the Forgotten. And before April 18th, when this group of professional builders is going to be in Sierra Blanca helping Freedom Home. Freedom Home they need donations, they need men, they need materials. John has set up, he's got some kind of account set up where you can donate to Lowe's or Home Depot. Contact John for the details on this. I mean, he needs siding and lumber and nails and, you know, just building materials. And volunteers to help with the labor. That is about it for this edition of the Fred Brauer Report. I will be back later this week with an update. I do not have any sponsors. I don't advertise. As you can see, I don't play music. I don't play commercials. This is my own personal studio, so my only supporters come from donations from patriots like you. If you would like to donate to the Fred Brauer Report, please do so. I really do need your help. You can donate to me, to the Fred Brauer Report, at www.gofundme.com/Fred KKRP. I understand a lot of people don't like GoFundMe. It has a poor reputation for, you know, blocking some conservative causes. I understand that. For right now, that is the only website that I have set up to accept donations. If you do not want to use GoFundMe, but you would like to donate to the Fred Brauer Report, please do. Contact me at fredforwethepeople@gmail.com. You can also see... Excuse me 1 second while I find the correct sheet that I had here. This is my new studio, so I'm still organizing a little bit, but I wanted to crank out a show for you really quick because I know I've been kind of AWOL, and I apologize for that. Well, I'll put all the links underneath of this video. You can contact me at facebook.com/FredForUSA, twitter.com/FredForUSA. You can find my blogs, my videos on vigilantpatriots.com, patrioticwarriors.com, teapartycommunity.com, and once again, you can always contact me at fredforwethepeople@gmail.com, and I will provide all of the links for me, for my websites, the websites I'm on, and for Liberty Farms and Freedom Home for the Forgotten below this video in the information section. Patriots, until next time, thank you very much for listening. Questions, comments, and especially news, hot tips, news from your area, anywhere in the country, please get it to me at fredforwethepeople@gmail.com, and I will air your story. I want to be the voice for the American people. I want to be the voice for conservative American people, because I don't think the American media is doing a very good job. Once again, thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Until then, facts versus fiction, logic versus chaos, and critical thinking versus emotional, useless propaganda. Have a good day.